Yes, this is the standard going forward. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Grand Slam Galaxy Playday number 6. I'm here, as always, with my co-commentator, Silver Lily. Hello, Silver Lily. How are you doing today?
Hello, Willie. I'm doing.
God bless it all. Alright, we're here to enter Playday number 6 of Grand Slam Galaxy, and because I accidentally set up in a very gross way last week, or last Playday, we can look at the standings before we head into this actually. Right now, there's one undisputed team at the top of the leaderboard, that being the Monsters, but they were shown to be mortal last week by one of those second place teams, the Miku Musicians. They'll be fighting off in actually our opener of this Playday. Other storylines heading in, the Bows alone at the bottom with a 1-4 scoreline, but I've heard Clubhouse Heat. That algorithm is coming online. Silver Lily. I'm ready. I'm excited. Do you have any...
It is?
Do you have any... Oh, go ahead.
No. It is very exciting to hear that the Bows might be starting to randomize their way to success sometime soon. A little bit of algorithmic potential.
I'm ready. I've seen their page in the spreadsheet is a thing of fear. I was going to say a thing of beauty, but no, it's a thing of fear. But regardless, right now, we'll head into the first game of our Playday, which is actually going to be the Monsters and the Musicians fighting on Mario Stadium. If the game... Okay, that's fine. I accidentally saved the state instead of loading the state, but this is why I save all of the games separately. There we go. Monsters vs. Musicians on Mario Stadium, which would have been last Playday, but we didn't want 3 Yoshi Parks this Playday, and I talked to management of both teams, and they were okay. Do you want to start with the Musicians this week?
The Musicians. I would love to start if you can show me the stream, Willie.
I would love to show you the stream. Don't worry, eventually it can't be a stream of Grand Slam Galaxy if I don't forget at least one thing at some point.
Right, allow me to take a look here. So the Musicians came out of last week with a pretty dominating win against the Monsters in Yoshi's Park Night, or not last week, last Playday. Started the series off with a win against the Monsters in Yoshi's Park Night. They're now being taken to a stadium that they've fallen flat on before. The stadium we only saw once during the Winter CPU Classic, right at the end, Mario Stadium. The Monarchs played against the Musicians, then the Wilds in the finals, and the second game was played in Mario Stadium. The Musicians completely fell apart in that game, scoring very few runs and letting up a bunch. So they're hoping to show tonight that they can perform better there than that one game would indicate. Nothing has changed about their lineup since last game. They're feeling good about their existing win.
Meanwhile, on the Monsters side, after being proven mortal, no longer being the only undefeated team in the league, they've made some minor shakeups. Defensive coordinator Goomba has been trying to keep the team positive heading into it. A little bit of trade interference from last park, hoping, at least trying to convince Bowser that was the root of the problem. We'll see whether or not that applies against this pretty devastating offensive lineup on the Musicians. In the meantime, they made their first changes to the batting order. Right now, it used to be a case of full synergy through and through, at least the 1 through 9 position, but they couldn't get that 9 position to have synergy with the 1 position. They've swapped it up a little bit. Whereas before, it would be sets of 3, 2 weaker batters and then 1 stronger batter. They've swapped it up so that their 4 to 8 lineup alternates strong batters at the cost of a little bit of chemistry in the batting lineup. So we're going to see whether that more consistently dangerous core in their lineup can make up for the lack of synergy. In any case, they're going to have to put on more offensive pressure, as they haven't done a great job in the last 3 games. They haven't scored double digits since they faced a much weaker Spitballs team in the first series. That Spitball team now looking dangerous, as we'll see later in the Playday. Right, let's get into it now. It's the musicians coming to the Monsters field of, ironically enough, Mario Stadium, as we kick off Playday number 6.
Now, there were some rumors from last week that the musicians were not last week, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. That was this week, earlier this week. Musicians were actually considering trading for the stadium's titular player. They were considering putting out an offer to the Fireeggs to see if they would be willing to give up Mario. After their win, it seems like management's thinking better of it, and I personally, as home commentator, doubt that the Fireeggs would have even played that ball in the first place.
Oh, I heard about this rumor. I processed this rumor. I would have been very curious to see that trade if it had gone through. But in the meantime, Tato leads off the musicians' offense very well with an excellently placed ball. Meanwhile, Tiny won't be able to follow it up. So it's Funky Kong as the first heavy hitter for the musicians to see whether or not the, I would say, on average, slightly smaller Mario Stadium can be a danger point. But no.
It's going to be another late firing of an item, unable to break up that easy catch by Thermite out in right field. It's now down to Donkey Kong to see if he can avoid leaving Tato stranded.
High fly
It's
ball
to
to left field.
Far hit. This time they're going to need a little synergy to try and catch it, and they do, just barely meeting it at the top of their arc right before it heads out of the stadium.
That was a date. Honestly, though, we're going to see, it's going to be a curious next couple of innings now, because the Monsters have successfully gone through the first 4 batters. I would argue one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous, part of the rotation for the musicians. Now we're going to
certainly one of the most dangerous.
Well,
Boo hitting a good single there, not using too much power, just enough to get it over the pitcher's head and out into center field where there's nobody to really grab it in time.
How much power do you need to hit a ball over Baby Peach's head?
Not a lot, Willie.
Well, a little bit
and
more
that's
than
going
that.
to be turned by Light Blue Yoshi, not quite able to get it over to Tato in time for a double play. Light Blue Yoshi once again showing his strong defensive chops, completely shutting down that hit from Red Magic Koopa.
I have to point out, if Boo was not the star player for the Monsters, that would have been an out at first, and that would have been the double play. So, we'll see now what they're able to turn off that barely safe play, as they have a runner on first and a runner on second as Bowser comes to the plate. What's up, Silver Lily?
I was just going to say, Edward Elric hitting a decent grounder up the middle. Once again, past Baby Peach. She's not able to grab it in time. And this one's going to be a deep and far hit by Bowser.
This will be a sac
over
fly.
to it to try for the jump. That is going to be the out. Now it's down to see, yes, Boo and Edward will be running back to their bases in time. Will not be caught out by the musicians fielding it back. But that was a lot of potential damage stuff. We've seen a couple of those now this game. Each team doing their absolute best to prevent the other team's power hitters from knocking it straight out of the park.
Speaking of power hitters, well, we'll see what Red Koopa is able to do as he's charging up early, but no. Knocks it straight to Funky Kong for a ground out, and no damage is done to the musicians except a little bit of pressure put on poor Baby Peach, as we'll continue to be scoreless going into the second inning. Or we'll set a scoreless tone going into the second inning, excuse me.
That baby cannot pitch for very long, much to the frustration of some musicians fans. Though, quite frankly, if they've been with us for long enough, that's a tune they're used to. Toadsworth, their former pitcher, was usually only good for an inning or two at best.
Well, it is quality pitching for as long as she's up on the mound. And some quality fielding will result in the double play turned by the Monsters off the bat of Dixie Kong to allow them to clear the bases.
Lots of double plays happen in this league due to some early greedy running by certain players. Yellow Pianta probably should have just stayed on base there, but YP really wanted second. When the hit from Dixie Kong was immediately caught out, speaking of getting caught out, that one goes straight to Agaric out in the center field. When the hit from Dixie Kong was immediately caught out, Yellow Pianta did not have the speed to get back to first base in time.
I honestly think at this point, we're not going to see... I think that Musicians fans should be ready for them not to show up in the batting box until that fourth inning. Meanwhile, Salamander says, "Oh, I didn't need that extra synergy you got by moving me around, but thanks for moving me up in the batting order. I'll reward you with a quick solo shot homer to left field."
And that was as deep to left as it possibly could be, one of the other amazing spots to aim for home runs. And that will tire out Baby Peach. Dixie Kong, fast as she is, cannot run all the way to left field in time to make that catch.
I miss the term pitcher's blessing as Donkey Kong is brought up onto the mound and is rewarded with a quick ground out to Funky Kong. Now it's the bat of, well, Strawberry is going to see if they're able to not fall for a star pitch. Nope.
Banana's not going to save you from that one. Donkey Kong quickly turning it around right before tripping on the peel.
It feels wrong to throw Bananas at Donkey Kong, but no, Agaric will try to hit that ball out to right field, but it's caught by Funky. And while the Monsters have a single shot homer, we're now through a lot of their offense for the next bit of their batting order, and it'll be down to the Musicians to see if they're able to shut them down in the bottom of the third. But we're not there yet. We're at the top of the third, where we're gonna have to see if the weaker parts, yeah, that's foul, of the Musicians' batting order can come alive. I predicted last inning it'll take until the fourth before we start to see damage from this team. Let's see if they can prove me wrong.
That's a slap shot up the center, but not quite up the center enough. Instead, Red Koopa able to position on top of it right away, send it over to first for the out. Now Light Blue Yoshi's gonna throw it to almost exactly the same spot, a little bit faster, but Red Koopa gets over there just a little bit faster, and it's just a little bit faster of an out.
Okay, thank God this one wasn't a ground out that saw Red Koopa roasted with an item. 3 up, 3 down for the Musicians. And the Monsters are in a very similar spot, though. Look.
If the one solo home run that has happened so far in this game had curved any more left, it would have been a foul. That is the kind of game we're playing right now. Both teams' defenses are very on top of things, and it takes precise ball placement to get past them.
Well, pending a double play here, we will see Bowser with another attempt, and a double play will be what we see. It'll be up to Edward Ellick to put a runner on for the main Captain Bowser, but with no item support. Oh!
Just barely over the head of Light Blue Yoshi. That's where you have to place it to avoid that tongue catch.
That's knocked out to right field. The runners might be there in time. Yep.
And they are. This time it's Tiny Kong getting thrown up to make the catch. But those two in the outfield, those two Kongs especially, are always so on top of it.
There'll be no complaints from Musicians fans, from them at least. Meanwhile now, well, that's now twice that Bowser has tried to knock it out of the park and been denied by the outfield. We're gonna see
if Kong calling her shot early, but not liking what she sees there.
Yeah. Oh, but excellently placed ball to sneak it out to right field for a single. Where was Bowser going? Did you see that?
I believe he was on fire, Willie.
Understandable. Funky
Now it's
Kong
down
is just an equally dangerous batter, though. If he's able to make good contact, he'll go for a slap.
And a slap looks good right now, especially with that pow... Oh no! She had been gotten hit by the Power Orb herself. It prevented her from getting to second in time. It wasn't needed for her to get to second, and instead it results in an out that shouldn't have been.
A revenge.
DK putting it right in the back wall. That's gonna be a single from him, but 2 bases from Funky Kong. Runners on the corners for Yellow Pianta.
YP! Slap shot up
Yellow
to the
Pianta
center.
hitting the immediate slap. Agaric not able to get there in time. That will load the bases. A bit of a wild throw that finds its way back to Red Magic Koopa. Down to Dixie Kong and Captain Miku to see if they can bring any of these runners home. Dixie Kong, with a good slap out to left field, finds a hole in the Monsters' defense, and suddenly the Wilds are playing small ball. Bases remain loaded, out still at 1, and it's a tie game.
A dangerous position for the Monsters, and they need to try to stem this bleeding. Pitcher Boo is going to have to put on some magic here if they want weak contact, but no, the Captain Miku with a shot right out to center field will drive in 2 runners.
Just barely on the second runner, and now leaving runners on the corners. Very close play, but YP muscling in right at home, knocking Red Magic Koopa off the plate. Says, this is my run, I'm not letting you take it.
And finally, Boo, the starting pitcher, starting to feel the heat from batting threat Baby Peach, and Boo doesn't want any of that. He'll be taken off the mound for the Captain Bowser to try to navigate this position.
And I have to give you credit, Willie. You called your shot. It's the 4th inning, and the musicians are tearing up the Monsters' defense. That's going to be an easy strike from a Bowser star pitch. Those tricky bullet bills. He's going to throw it again to claim a strike out.
Well, a second out when facing a lighter batter like Light Blue Yoshi is exactly what you want. And pending some item magic.
Far, but it's a little too high for how far it's going. Taking its time, and so does the shell, not able to make it in Agaric in time to save the inning.
Well, the Monsters aren't going to be back to a super dangerous position for at least another inning or 2. They've got Salamander and Strawberry coming up in the batting order, but with Koopa grounding out, well, you need runners on bases if you really want to do damage. Salamander will at least do just that, getting himself a single by knocking it out to center field. If Thermite can put 2 on for Red Pianta, and he does just that. Alright, this is where we're going to have to see Red Pianta shine. The star taken off this player earlier in the season. Could that be a regret from the Monsters?
Strawberry hits it up center, and now we're getting a little small ball both ways.
I forgot I cannot believe I'm the one who forgot Strawberry. That's my shame.
It's Agaric with the chance to hit someone home. Bases loaded, 1 out. Familiar situation. Donkey Kong wants none of it.
But swings with a star pitch.
Hit.
That's aggressive.
The star pitch. And that's going to drive 2 home. Will we see a 3rd? Probably not, with this laser throw sailing home from Dixie Kong.
What baseball IQ I did not expect from Agaric. Usually not aggressive with those star hits, but right when it's needed, calls his shot, and we're back to a tie ball game.
That is the weakness of that Donkey Kong star pitch. You get a little aggressive with it. That was a late called out.
Well, it wasn't a forced out. Baby Peach did have to tag out Strawberry.
True enough. But with Agaric staying on 3rd, Strawberry
The bobble.
Light Blue Yoshi just... I don't think I've ever seen a catch, one of those special catches miss like that.
It's been known to happen to the Yoshis sometimes, and right when it needed not to, a bobble from Light Blue Yoshi will let the monsters take a 1-run lead and get back to loaded bases off the bat of Elric. This might not be... Okay, I didn't know that Bowser was up next. I thought he wasn't. Bowser has made 2 deep shots, but both have been caught by the outfield so far. DK doesn't want any of that, but the charge hit from Bowser will result in the line drive up the center and bring in another runner home.
This is looking disastrous for the musicians, who were not able to get similar levels of production from their own rally, and it's starting to tire relief pitcher Donkey Kong much earlier than they can afford for him to as well. Another solid hit, this time by Red Koopa. They're all finding exactly the point they need to. And this bobble from Light Blue Yoshi is turning absolutely disastrous for the musicians.
Disastrous enough that Captain or Sub-Captain DK will be taken off the mound for who else but YP himself. And the bobble from Dixie Kong. Item play as well. Salamander RBI's 3 in. Okay, to be fair, it was a star hit, which I guess increases the chance of a bobble, but, like, I still wasn't expecting that. I don't think either of us were.
I certainly wasn't, Willie. And it's gonna be, like, Yellow Pianta really is not the person you wanted to see out on the field at this point in time. Not much of a pitching power house. And it's going to mean bad things if he gets sent to the outfield. YP currently does not have any chemistry on this team. The team loves him. I don't know if he's given much of that love back.
Well, the Monsters have scored more in that inning than they have... Sorry, they scored an equal amount that inning as they have in any of their previous 3 games. 6 last game, 8 the previous 2 games, and then in this game, 8 in 1 inning off some unfortunate misplays from the musicians. Now, let's not kid ourselves.
Down to that Light Blue Yoshi bobble, the most unfortunate play. What could have been a done inning turned into another 5 runs? 6 runs?
I would have to go back and check when that bobble happened, yeah.
Now it's down to the musicians' offense to try and make it happen in return. This one's very high. They've just given up on it. Oh, it just barely falls in. That's a fair ball. It's enough to send Funky Kong home, but it's not the 2-run shot that Donkey Kong was almost certainly hoping it would be.
Still, of all the placement they could get with a ball that slow, maybe a little bit of odd feeling from Agaric and Thermite. They were like, oh, we don't need to super jump for it, but not catching it before it bounces off that wall still allows the double from DK. And YP, with a chance, takes advantage of it. A bobble from Elric.
A little bit of a bobble from Edward Elric. It's throwing home, and we're getting a rundown situation. Donkey Kong not able to slide into third in time.
Oh my stars. What is happening in Grand Slam Galaxy? Okay, look. The musicians are definitely not out of this yet. We've seen the pressure they can put on. They just need to find that pressure late game where they haven't been able to find it early. If they're able to get through Bowser as a pitcher, I think they've got a decent shot at it still. Meanwhile, the Monsters, well, they had a great inning last time, but they've had inconsistent results for a while now. After Agaric sacrificed bunt to let Strawberry advance to second base.
I think for the not for the Monsters, for the musicians at this point, it's all about managing to tighten up this fielding and seeing if they can drive off Bowser. While there is a Red Magic Koopa still on backup able to play closer, He doesn't have much stamina. You want to put the monsters deep into their pitching rotations, but you can say the same about the musicians, who are already deep into their pitching rotation.
Red Magic Koopa takes advantage with a drive up the center. Strawberry doesn't have the confidence to run home off that, and we have loaded bases for Edward Elric. Pending a double play to end this inning, which won't happen with a shot out to right field. We'll keep loaded bases as the captain himself, Bowser, steps to the plate. A shot to left field. This one's fast. Miku and Dixie not able to make it there in time, and a grand slam from the captain. He will not be denied a fourth time. He'll score 4 runs.
That was a high ball. Even with the super jump, it was well over Miku's head. Yellow Pianta probably never should have been on the pitch in the first place. Now stepping off for Miku, and that will further tear open a hole in that left field. So there is now no chemistry in that part of the outfield.
Well, we'll see if the monsters are able to take advantage of it, though both their home runs so far have been on that left field. Salamander early in the game icing that solo shot, and Bowser's grand slam also to left field. The monsters keep up the pressure, and the musicians have got to dig themselves out of this hole, starting with Dixie, who will pop out to Strawberry at shortstop. I'm not sure what happened to this Monsters team. Sure, their batting lineup changed a little bit, but was it just anger after their perfect season was ended by the musicians last week? Last Playday?
If I had to take a guess, Willie, I think it's the park. The musicians thrive in the chaos most of the time, and there is no chaos to be found on Mario Stadium.
Well, Baby Peach is going to have to be able to thrive in a 2-strike situation against Bowser, and she'll do just that, but be caught out by Strawberry, who turns the double play to end this inning. Not unexpected at this point in the musicians lineup, and they've still got 3 more shots at the bat to start to make this game back. But that's if they're able to shut down the Monsters offense, and it'll be up to the captain Miku to lead this comeback.
Starting off with a solid couple of outs from last inning, infield's really starting to turn up for the musicians. They have to hope it's not too late. They've missed so many balls earlier in this game, with, I must admit, some good ball placement from the Monsters. But the outfield has not been on top of things. And it's kind of midfield shots like that that are really wreaking havoc for the musicians.
As Agaric and Strawberry on first and second, we're back to the top of the order, and Boo takes advantage of it with another solo shot to right field. Now, a double play ends the inning, and if there's one batter to get it off of, it's the Red Magic Koopa.
Red Magic Koopa starting to charge up early. Seems like he wants to hit it far. Instead, he's going to slap it. That's over to Light Blue Yoshi, and who sends it over to Funky Kong at second base to get that double play. A blessedly scoreless inning for the musicians after 13 were given up over the last 2.
Well, now it's up to Light Blue Yoshi. A base hit to start off this inning. Any base hits to really put pressure on the Monsters, but no, the Bowser captain himself takes a fireball for Strawberry so that they're able to turn that first out. Now it's Tato up at the bat. And a shutdown from Strawberry as well at that shortstop position will lead to 2 outs in this inning. Still opportunities. We've seen the musicians make crazy 2-out comebacks, and Tiny Kong is going to be the one to try to start this one, as she'll get a runner on base for Funky Kong, the first slugger from this lineup.
It's the right spot in the lineup to do it with Funky Kong and Donkey Kong ready to back her up. Bowser wants to find this third out, throws one star pitch to do so, not going to throw a second, and we're going to get a slap out to left field that Funky Kong will run to first off of. 2 runners on base. Here comes Donkey Kong.
He's already made 2 home run caliber hits, but been shut down by the outfield. He needs a little bit more speed on this hit if he's going to go for it. Shot out to center. It's a little bit vague. It bounces off the back wall to stay fair.
It'll run in Tiny Kong at the very least, but Funky Kong only able to make it off out to second off that.
Gonna have to swap the height of Toad, not allowing these plays to be turned. But at least he's got the speed to get in position.
YP, who needs to keep the rally going. Another star pitch from Bowser.
YP!
Just to take a strike. YP slaps it to right field. It's rolling out. Thermite's finally able to gather it up, but Funky Kong runs home. DK to third. Stepping up next, I believe it's Dixie Kong.
Oh.
But Bowser beginning to tire and will step off the plate. This is what the musicians have been hoping for. It is early in the game for Red Magic Koopa. Red Magic Koopa does not have a lot of stamina.
And Dixie Kong will start off that pressure on him with a shot out to deep right to allow Donkey Kong to run home, and it's a double for her, right when the team needs it. That 2-out rally that the musicians are so famous for is starting to kick into action.
Dixie Kong happy with that one. Much better batter than the stats might make you think.
Oh, the light
stat preview, I should say. Oh, and the banana forced bobble by. That'll be Baby Peach firing out this time. Gives Captain Miku a double off of what should have been an easily caught pop fly. Disrupted 3 different monsters, fielders, and now it's time for Red Magic Koopa to want to throw in the towel. 2 runs have already come in off of his pitching, and here's Baby Peach, still the star player for the musicians, hitting a double, a Boo assisted double for a third.
Drives home Miku, all off that. Well, I think that the Yoshi tongue bobble from earlier might be a little bit less of a problem for the monsters as they force off Magic Koopa early, and it's now time for the monsters, led Pianta, to step to the pitcher box. Finally, after a devastating rally from the musicians, the monsters managed to close out the inning, and the musicians are making it deathly competitive in the last stretch of this game. Pressure from...
like it...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, what looked like it might be a blowout has evened up a ton, and now it's on the monsters to try and find that lead, that devastatingly sized lead once more. They absolutely can do it in a strong part of their lineup. 1 on base, Edward Elric hitting a nice single up the center, and Bowser at bat. That's another high and far shot, but it's to the wrong corner of the Kong outfield. Tiny and Dixie all ready to losing my ability to speak, Willie. All ready to wrap that in and send it back.
Now it does expose, though, a little bit of a reminder. Any shots out to left field now for the monsters are going to be daggers to this musician's defense, but it's a question of can they find that positioning. Red Koopa is able to turn the ball. Grounds out to Light Blue Yoshi at shortstop, but takes too long to reel that ball in and allows Elric to reach second. Now Elric going home off the power block interference will score another run for the monsters. Salamander has got to get MVP of this game if the monsters win, which is a big if at this point. It's
not a guarantee, though. Another good shot by Thermite, and this is going to be a not fired power block. That could have sent Salamander home. Instead, leaves him on third for Strawberry.
Charge hit out to right field is just barely not hit strong enough, but Strawberry still caught out with that slow base running. And the run doesn't count as she's not able to reach first base. The musicians in a position here.
Slow-mo replay. Sorry.
First batter of the inning, Tato grounds out after the slow hit is fielded by Ben Cooper. I've gotta check the records here to get the young man's name. Regardless now, Strawberry doing decent on the mound as Magic Koopa is able to field Tiny Kong's hit. And that's 2 outs now for the musicians. Funky Kong is in it to try to save this inning.
Strawberry is probably one of the better substitutions just for the defense for the Monsters, as the Magic Koopas are known to have some decent fielding. Not the speed to make it happen, but in the infield, that doesn't matter quite so much.
Well, we'll see what's able to happen now as Miku needs to shut down this Monsters offense. They're about to go to the top of the batting order after Agaric, who will get caught out after grounding out to shortstop. Back to the top. It's Boo now. Any additional pain could mean that there's not an additional batting inning for the Monsters, but no. Light Blue Yoshi coming in clutch this time, catching that ball, and it's 2 outs now for the Monsters.
Now it's Red Magic Koopa, defensive player of the last inning, looking to be a bit of an offensive threat too, surprising this game. Surprising performance.
No.
Getting another single in a batting performance that's normally filled with ground outs and flyouts.
No item support from Elric as he watches 2 swing by him. He'll finally swing at the third, but another bobble from Light Blue Yoshi will save the inning. It's a runner on first, runner on second. Bowser, we'll see what he's able to turn off of Miku's pitches. It's a huge hit out to center field. And it's another 3-run homer for Bowser, who's alone. Driven in 7-run for the Monsters this game. Miku taken off the mound in this crucial moment.
Now it'll be Light Blue Yoshi stepping up to the plate, the defensive star, hoping to make something happen on pitching. Instead, he's just gonna let Red Koopa on. The pitching performances and defensive performances from the musicians have been all over the place tonight. And in a very, very bad moment for that to be the case. Salamander shoots one out right up the line with a hop from Donkey Kong to finally close out the inning. They only let up 3, but when they were already behind 5, that could be the end of it for this musicians team. Donkey Kong to lead off against Strawberry. That's far, but it's gonna be foul. Gonna curve foul a little bit early.
Not this one, though, as that's a shot up the middle, but it just doesn't have the reach. And Agaric will catch that one, and the musicians start this inning with an out. Now it's YP up to try to get something going for them.
It's gonna be ball 1.
The 2-out buff isn't on yet, but it doesn't matter for YP as they'll knock a solo shot all the way out to right field to start this inning off for the musicians.
They need to find at least 7 more where that came from, and they're heading into the weakest part of their lineup, Dixie Kong, the next up to bat.
It's gonna have to be small.
It'll be the weakest part soon. Dixie Kong and Miku have been known to make things happen. Dixie doesn't do it there. Edward has fast enough running to make it over to her ball in time before it hits the ground. Now it's up to Miku, Baby Peach, And if both of those two survive it, Light Blue Yoshi to keep the team's dreams alive. Instead, a no-bobble magical reel in from Red Magic Koopa will end the game. 18-11. And I think Light Blue Yoshi's got to be feeling awful about that one. 7 to 9 runs, depending on when they happened when it happened in the first inning. A completely different game. But 2 Light Blue Yoshi bobbles, 2 completely unforced errors from that normally stellar defensive player turned what could have been a Musician's victory into a Monsters runaway.
Well, after that showcase, now we have questions to ask. Will the Musicians find their defense again? Is this really what the Monsters can call an offensive turnaround for them as they scored double digits for the first time since Playday 2? In the meantime, well, MVP honors go back to the captain after a 7-run showing from him off of 1 grand slam and 1 3-run homer. Not to mention, I think he scored 2 other RBIs by rounding the bases, so excellent offensive play from him will seal this series as the Musicians are not able to take the full 2 games away from the Monsters, who will remain undisputed in the top position at least through the end of Playday 6. There we go. Finally, I've actually managed to make it so that people won't all check their computers whenever I'm taking screenshots of these scoreboards for the records. Miku, Captain Miku, and YP himself putting up the best they can offensively for the Musicians. And meanwhile, it's Bowser, off the hit power of all that hitting, who's able to take that MVP status home. Any other standout players to you, Silver Lily?
Edward Elric actually, and I have to say, Red Magic Koopa really put up unexpectedly good performances today. There's something about all these Mii players. They seem to have similar stats, but they have wildly varying game-by-game performances. You know, you see what Miku and Edward were able to do today, and then you look at what Thermite and Tato were able to do. They're completely different worlds, despite having the same ratings across the board.
Well, with that, the Monsters will seal their top place for at least another week. Meanwhile, the Musicians will fall to an even 3-3 record. That'll keep them at least firmly in the running. We head now to game number 2, as we're going to see the Bows take on the Flowers in Yoshi Park, which has always been... Actually, let me double check here. Is this Yoshi Park Night or Yoshi Park Day as well? This is Yoshi Park Day, which is a little bit less dangerous, which almost favors the Bows less. They got that upset on Yoshi Park Night in the first series when they managed to take that game. Oh, sorry, no, it was Yoshi Park Day when they managed to score a surprise upset victory against the Fireeggs. That's their only win so far. And they're going back to the gold mine to try to pick out a second win. Any thoughts on either of these two teams?
I'm struggling to have thoughts at all right now, Willie, I'm afraid. Getting a bit distracted by things I need to be looking at otherwise, which is making me a worse commentating partner, and for that I must apologize.
That's just fine. We're going to head straight in. Well, we're not going to head into it yet. The Flowers, let me double check the standings here. They were almost in that bottom seed position last week. But after an amazing performance against the Bows, where they put up, I think, 17 runs? 21 runs for plus 19. Well, their run differential shot from minus 20 to minus 1. Now they're in that 2-3 position. And hey, if they manage to score another game like that, they'll head into that 3-3 position, and they'll at least overtake, for right now, possibly the rookies and the musicians, and start putting themselves in that top 4 of the league. Now, that's if they manage to turn an excellent performance against the Bows, who have reset their roster. Their algorithm is coming in, and they're figuring out the best way to optimize this game. Right now, King Boo will miss a game for the Bows as this triangle of Shy Guys try to take the field and shut it down for the Flowers. Before we start, a prayer to RN Jesus, as always, for the Bows, if I may.
Please, go ahead.
Emphasize highly location below, most resolve, add, muscle, follow, holy working example, infection, strongly online ever, worker, left, deficit, dangerous, sauce, waste, proposal, bottom, whole, travel, operate, her boundary, frequently citizen, solution, standard, no carry, everything, opinion, suicide, tired, pole, height, wake, achieve, potato, if, bread, style, initial, technique, seriously. I think we can all find meaning in those words. Now, let's move forward on to Game 2 of Playday 6. It's the Flowers versus the Bows at Yoshi Park. Is it supposed to be Yoshi Park night? I might have messed up slightly. I'm double checking the schedule now. Yes, it is supposed to be Yoshi Park night. Okay, and the Bows are the home team. Yes, okay, I didn't screw up. We love not screwing up. Oh, I forgot to check the batting orders. Uh-oh. Well, the batting order is definitely fine for the Flowers. As Daisy, who's been a weird offensive presence for her team, she keeps scoring solo bombs, and she'll start
Looks like
this
she's
game
about
off.
to do it again, Willie, as she scores a solo bomb out to deep right center field.
What are they feeding this princess? Wild.
Star power, Willie. Star power.
Yeah, fair enough. Now it's up to Luigi. I just want to see a Luigi homer once this season. Is that too much to ask? He keeps coming after Daisy, and Daisy just keeps showing him that she wears the overalls in this relationship. Well, consistency at least from the man in green will net him a single as he knocks it out to right field.
Yes, indeed. Luigi has been very consistent, an excellent offensive performer, and occasionally defensive for this Flowers team. I wish I had stats to give you, but I just haven't put them together. I haven't done it yet. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So yeah, every time, one of these days, I will just be like sick for a day, and I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking score the Mario baseball.
I hope that you have healthier things to do than watch, at this point, 15 hours of baseball. Well, Tyler
sounds like a good evening, Willie.
Uh-huh. Well, now the bases are loaded for Blue Critter with no outs yet off of Yellow Magic Koopa's pitching. And the offense really starts for the Flowers off a weirdly wild throw in from the outfield off the glove of Gray Shy Guy. And 3 RBIs for Blue Pianta on that play. Immediately, without a single...
Excellent starting offensive play will immediately chase Yellow Magic Koopa from the mound.
Yellow Magic Koopa did not get a single out on that attempt at the mound. Berta, though.
That's
might
gonna
be-
wreck his ERA. Ooh, a potentially good power block. It prevents a double play, at the very least.
Streamers on the corners now for the flowers as Blue Yoshi comes up. And honestly, I don't hate Magic Koopa ending up in the second base position. I think with a little bit of quicker play, he could have turned that. But no, the Bomb stops any outs coming on the side of the flowers. And it's Baby Daisy up to the bat now, as they've already scored 4 runs. Boo interference will allow them to reload the bases now.
Killer Magic Koopa doing everything in his power to reel in these balls, but it's just not enough to stop the offense. This time, Dry Bones able to take the hit off of Pink Yoshi and turn a solo double play.
Not often that you see two puts like that. Now it's the time for the Bows. They let up 4 runs in the first inning. And their offense has got to try to produce now off these rows of Shy Guys. Gray Shy Guy, though, will ground out at shortstop. What's up, Silver Lily?
I will say that, 4 runs is better than they've had recently. First innings are often rough for the Bows. Let's see if their newly algorithmic lineup round.
Well, a high shot will time perfectly with this train, but no.
But not perfectly enough. Baby Peach able to run to the other side of the tracks before the train comes by. The Yoshi partner in the outfield not so lucky.
Baby Daisy playing through a movie there where she has to hold herself against the wall to avoid this train. But at least for the Bows this time, after allowing the Flowers to round their entire batting order in the first inning, will shut down Daisy without her being able to knock home a solo shot this time. Gray Shy Guy also fields Luigi, and it's 2 outs after the first 2 batters. Another hard hit from Blue Critter will net a single as Gray Shy Guy just isn't able to get under the ball in time. Still, a single is only a single, is an RBI given enough time in singles, I suppose. But no.
See, it's gonna be up to Tyler 1, and he says no. No runs for us this inning.
Welcome back
More
to the field,
specifically,
Statler.
Statler says it.
I miss Statler. Statler's great.
Statler is great, and it is good to see him playing again.
Don't fall for it. Oh, Blue Shy Guy.
Oh, I fell for it, and with no synergy to break up the easiest pop fly. That's going to be 1 out and another star pitch coming off of Daisy. She is feeling these today.
Well,
Not a lot of star power left to throw them with, though. She's got to throw a couple regular strikes first.
Well, no choice for Yellow Magic Koopa here as they'll knock up another high pop ball. Easily caught by the Blue Pianta. And, well, that's 2 outs off of star pitches for Daisy. Not a third, though, as Yellow Shy Guy will simply ground out to Soda Poppin' at third base. That's 3 up, 3 outs for the Bows in the second inning. I don't know where the Bows go. One thing about this team that they've elected to field against the Flowers is that they don't have the bat of King Boo, who is one of their power sluggers. So now they'll have to turn to small ball if they want anything, which isn't outside the realm of possibility in this park, but you want those deep hits on a night like this. At least the Bows will turn the first out of this inning, but Soda Poppin', who ended the last one, will keep this one going with a single. Well, he would have been the last one anyway, but you know what I mean.
Right now, we are seeing a much better defensive performance from the Bows. They had a little bit of a stumbling block early, giving up 4 runs to the Flowers, but with Birdo on the mound and Yellow Magikoopa back in the infield, they've been able to tighten it up to get to these double plays and easy outs and hold the Flowers scoreless for 2 innings now. Old look Bows, that was rare for.
I'm looking different at these Magikoopas in the shortstop and second base positions now. They've always been brought onto teams for their amazing pitching performance. Oh wait, that's foul?
It's just barely foul.
They've always been brought onto teams though for their pitching performances during spring training, making teams believe in them as relief pitchers, but the low stamina has never helped them. But that magical magnetic grab at the shortstop and second base, well, the Monarchs might not be the only ones who are able to fish for catches that seem outside their range, as, well, the Bows aren't able to knock it anywhere far enough out of range, as they'll go 3 up, 3 out again this inning and go scoreless into the 4th.
And it's Baby Daisy that's going to lead the offense for the Flowers at the top of the 4th inning, and it's Baby Daisy that's going to be the first easy out of the inning. Yellow Magikoopa turning up. Have we seen Yellow Magikoopa play for the Bows yet?
Yes. Yellow Magikoopa was the starting pitcher for the Bows last week. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Birdo, looking to get just a couple strikes with that star pitch, finds the 1, and then a fielded ball by Daisy hit out to the center field and snapped up by Gray Shy Guy.
Well, Mr. Consistency Luigi will have to see if he's able to keep this inning going for the Bows, as he'll be put to 2 strikes off the power of a star pitch. And
nothing. Oh, you go ahead.
I was going to say the fastball wasn't able to sneak its way by him. What was your thought?
I was just going to say, if nothing else, the Bows have been doing a good job of completely shutting down Daisy's consistency. With 2 on base, Blue Critter hits a line drive up the 3rd base line, and it'll be a hop from Yellow Shy Guy at 3rd base to take that out.
Well, the Bows, if they want any chance in this game, believe it or not, in order to win the game, you need to score points. And so far, their offense has been totally shut down. Gray Shy Guy was shut down at the start of this inning. Now it's up to Yellow Yoshi, the star player for the Bows, to try to get on base. And we're back up to Dry Bones, who we've seen Dry Bones knock surprising home runs before, but I'm sure he won't be mad with a single. I think Dry Bones, that class of player, might slowly be turning out to be one of my favorites, as Blue Shy Guy isn't able to get on base, but will at least allow Shy Guy and Yellow Yoshi to advance to scoring position. Yellow Magikoopa needs to keep this inning alive. There's no star power for Daisy. The star hit, though, from Yellow Magikoopa will knock
that
in
will
1,
do it.
2. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that will do it. Good use of star power to guarantee or almost guarantee a living inning. Now Daisy starting to tire and in fact stepping off the mound after giving up only 2 in the bottom of the 4th. That is a much shorter performance than you usually see, and now it's Luigi time. A little bit of a pitcher blessing, as that hit is sent right over to Blue Critter for the easy 3rd out.
You know, we have to give the Bows credits where it's due. Daisy is, especially with that star power, one of the most dangerous pitchers in the league. And now that they've shut her down, well, we'll see if consistent small ball is the name of the game for them. But small ball is not the name of the game for Blue Pianta, who at the perfect height will just barely manage to keep that solo shot out to right field out of the park. What a hit.
An incredible hit. Very high wall on those train tunnels does not matter to Blue Pianta. And definitely doesn't matter to Soda Poppins because his hit is immediately caught by Yellow Magic Koopa.
Well, now it's Berto with 5 star. I would love to see a star pitch. No, but it's still fielded by Yellow Magic Koopa, who's really proving himself in that second base position. And, well, an extra run won't help, but off a solo shot homer, what are you going to do? Now it's up to the Bows. They forced Daisy off the mound. If they can force Luigi off the mound, and how hard can it be to scare him? A little harder than that, as the first batter, Statler, taken out by a solid dive from the Blue Pianta at shortstop.
Pianta's pretty good shortstop players. Had been playing shortstop for all 3 teams that had a Pianta at one point or another. YP was actually moved to second base and then third base by the Musicians after being taken off the bench.
Roberto, as the captain, proving that she's got the bat to back it up, will net a double and allow her to reach second and Blue Dry Bones to reach an easy scoring position at third base. But now they have to capitalize. They're full on star power. One good star hit from Gray Shy Guy forces
and there's
the bobble.
The Gray Shy Guy star hit, but the bobble is popped up. The forced bobble is popped up into the air, so it's still an easy catch for Pink Yoshi. Now it's down to Yellow Yoshi to try and make something happen.
Starred player against the sub-captain Luigi has got to make something happen here. Charges up, hits it to right field. That's good. Berto and Blue Dry Bones heading home.
It might be close. It won't be. Berto makes it safe just before the ball reaches Daisy's glove. You're gonna see that in the replay here. Yeah, there was a solid second worth of time between Berto stepping on the plate and the ball reaching Daisy, and now it's a 5-4 game. The Bows turning around their chances to even things up. Not quite tie. Not quite. But this is definitely a much better performance than we've seen from them recently, especially this early in the game.
It's a lot better performance than we saw from them last week. And now, the Bows have a chance to upset the Ascendant Flowers and really set this league on fire, as if they win, after only 6 playdays, there won't be any teams with less than 2 wins in Grand Slam Galaxy. Of course, that's if they can still keep up this comeback, and off Berto's pitching, well, anything almost feels possible. As YP, that wasn't Yellow Yoshi, who was that? I don't know why I said YP either, on team.
I think that was Blue Yoshi.
Well, regardless.
Yeah.
Them and Daisy will get caught out. Daisy at second base position, and double checking this roster, Pink Yoshi.
Pink Yoshi. That's the one.
We got there in the end. Alright, it's a 1-run game for the Bows. If they can knock Luigi off the mound, it's very possible for them. But Berto needs to keep her stamina up and keep applying that pitching pressure. And it's up to Yellow Magic Koopa now. Any damage is good damage. Any damage is a blow of confidence against Luigi.
Solid slap up the center. Like always, great for getting a player on base as long as you don't hit it too far.
Yellow Shy Guy will have to try to keep this damage on, but no. A hit straight to Blue Pianta at shortstop, who quickly fields it back to first base with a laser throw. And the scoreline doesn't change from the 5th inning as we head into the 7th. Neither team finding luck on home plate as Luigi start off this inning with a single. Oh no.
Mr. Consistency, always on first, rarely going home. Let's see if his team can do it for him this time. Blue Critter isn't gonna make it happen. That is a pop fly out to left field, easily caught by Dry Bones. Just lets it fall into his glove.
Tyler.
And a shot by Tyler, one line drive out the center. This one caught by Gray Shy Guy right before a power orb hits him in the face. Now it's Blue Pianta.
Blue Pianta hit a solo homer earlier in the game. Early use of star power from Birdo. Will she go 3 for 3? No. But it'll force the slap from Blue Pianta, who will hit it straight up the middle. And, hey, it's not 2 on homer. It's a single for Blue Pianta. And Birdo is taken off the mound. And that's trouble for the Bows. Yellow Shy Guy is now in position to try to keep this defense going, and will do just that. Pitcher's blessing coming back to Grand Slam Galaxy as he'll force the hit out from Soda Poppin' to that second baseman. God, everyone shout out Yellow Magic Koopa.
Now it is Statler leading off the offense in the 7th for the Bows. Going to see if he can make anything happen this time with a hit out to right field that will be turned by a Pianta, spat out into Blue Yoshi over in left field, left center. And that will make a potential, probably single shot into a double.
It might have been a double if he had the confidence to run to second, but we rarely see runners take risks like that in Grand Slam Galaxy. But no, Blue Shy Guy with a shot up the center, and with no outs on the board, the tying run is at third base with no pressure for Birdo the captain, blinged up in the box with that ring, blinged up on the stat board with a shot out to right field, and this is a tie ball game.
We're lucky the invisible force walls that dictate who can and cannot go, or I should say the flowers are lucky the invisible force walls that dictate who can and cannot go through those train tunnels were in place, because that could have gone even further and they would have had to have gone chasing after that ball. A quick double play turned off Gray Shy Guy's hit there.
Could you imagine if hitting it into those train tunnels counted as a home run? This stadium would be banned faster than you could say no. Well, unfortunately for the Bows, after tying the game, they're forced with 3 outs and 2 plays. But it's a tie ball game with only 2 innings left. If the Flowers win this game, they're guaranteed at least an even run differential, as their run differential sits right now at -1. If the Bows win this game, well then they will be, well, with their run differential, they will remain the bottom team in the league, but at least 2 wins is 2 wins. And that'll be pressure on the rest of the league, as there will be no guaranteed last slot here. And the defense from Yellow Magic Koopa is proving that is very possible.
That is one of, I think, the longest range reel-in abilities in the game. The Magic Koopas underrated as infielders, often used as relief pitchers, but rarely used for their infield prowess.
Proven today, as Yellow Magic Koopa on this team, and I think Red Magic Koopa last game, was forced to that shortstop position, weren't they? Yep.
And immediately started running wild against the Musicians' offense.
Alright. Well, pressure on the Bows. It's a tie game. Dry Bones. I love the bats of Dry Bones characters. They can always hit a solo shot when you don't expect it. But no, settles for a single up the middle that Blue Pianta is not able to field correctly. Blue Shy Guy now. Runner on first, no outs. Needs this offensive pressure. And finds the line, the rare line taken between third base and shortstop to get another single.
An excellent hit by that Blue Shy Guy. Now it's Yellow Magic Koopa's turn at the plate. Key defensive player this game for the Bows. He's gonna try for something similar, but instead it's just gonna be a double play. Blue Dry Bones, or no, just regular Dry Bones, advances to third. But that's all. 2 outs on the play. Now it's up to Yellow Shy Guy. They want to take the lead. Yellow Shy Guy has to get a solid hit that'll bring Dry Bones home, but does not find it. Instead, sends it right over to Blue Pianta at shortstop, who turns it right over to Tyler 1. Tie game going into the top of the 9th.
Well, this is a lot closer than we were expecting immediately after, especially after the top of that first inning, but the Bows are finding themselves here on Yoshi Park Night. Hey, that algorithm seems to be working plenty for them, but Daisy wants to say no thank you. Barely knocks it foul. Another charge shot from the Princess, but this one will go straight to Blue Dry Bones in left field.
She has, other than her solo shot in the first inning, she has been finding no success this game. Has she even reached base?
Oh my god. Oh my god, and when the world needed him most.
Mr. Consistency, finally not just the runner up with his own solo shot out to right center.
Did I just do Chekhov's home run at the opening of this game? Started with me saying, wow, I'd love a Luigi homer, and boy, does he give it to me. Now it's the Bows.
Now it's Blue Critter to follow it up with a long fly, but that will eventually be caught by Gray Shy Guy before it hits the ground. Tyler 1, able to find a line, puts it in left center just past the Piranha Plant, turns it into a double.
Okay. This is it. The Bows have to shut down Blue Pianta. 1 run is doable. 2 runs is hard for this team. Can Yellow Shy Guy end this offense? He'll try with a star pitch. It's hit by Blue Pianta. Regardless, though, it goes to the Piranha Plant. Oh my god, I thought for a second that Blue Dry Bones might actually catch that, which I think would have been the out. But no. That will allow Tyler 1 to run home. I think Tyler 1 would have reached home without the Piranha Plant's interference. But now it's a 2-run difference for the Bows. They're going to be subbing in Statler, previous starting pitcher for a lot of their games, to ice this one. Ice this one is the wrong term when they're behind, I realize. Oh no, the POW block knocks out Blue Pianta and allows the Bows to escape off only a 2-run deficit. They're actually arguably in the best part of their batting rotation too. Statler into Dry Bones into Birdo.
No chemistry, all prowess. Though not enough right here. A little bit of a weak hit. Slow moving, easily caught by Blue Pianta will be a first out. Blue Dry Bones, however, finding a hit right up that weak center spot.
Birdo with
able
the world
to run
needs her
over
most.
to first.
Oh no! That'll end the game off Birdo's hit. I was looking at her as a potential home run candidate. She trusts the slap, and Blue Critter says thank you and turns a marvelous double play to first base to end this game for the Flowers. and they managed to get their 50-50 win record back and go into the positive run differentials.
Full credit to the Bows for this team turnaround. A 7-5 game, even as a loss, kept this competitive for this long. It's the best we've seen from them.
Well, besides their one win in the first series. Now it'll be up to them to take...
They do have a win, but it's the best we've seen from them in a while.
I have confidence that we can see these Bows start to turn this season around more and more as we progress. In the meantime, Blue Pianta, one of the two to get that excellent solo shot homer early in the game. Actually, it should be said, look, those three solo homers off the Flowers bats are what won them the game. Luigi's solo homer, Daisy's solo homer, and Blue Pianta's solo homer changed this to a 7-5 scoreline. Now, that does not mean at all if those hadn't happened that the Bows would have won, because we don't know. It would have been a completely different game. But it is necessary to point out to me that at least in this game is the extra insurance that the Flowers needed to take it. Alright,
Just some excellent play by that Blue Pianta. I think that the Bows were going a little underrated by the scoring here. I think their performance was a lot better than this would be saying. They might not have won this game, but they held the Flowers to only 7 points while scoring 5 of their own.
It was a great attempt from them. I honestly think we'll have to see exactly what they're able to produce in their next series, which will be in Series 4 of Grand Slam Galaxy. Well, the Bows will be up against the Monsters. So if we want to see this additional boost to their play power, they'll need to bring it in Series 4. We're still in Series 3 though. And while the Bows fall, well, it's time for another possible champion to start standing, as the Spitballs and the Fireeggs bring us back to Mario Stadium for game number 3. Silver Lily, what are your thoughts on... Oh no, I did the same thing again, but that's fine. This is why we save to files. Though I'm bemused I managed to do it twice now. Spitballs versus the Fireeggs, Mario Stadium. Here we go. So Lily, what are your opinions on these two teams right now?
Both are teams with a lot of potential. They've been undergoing their own smaller versions of restructuring. The Fireeggs have built a baby-based outfield where they didn't have one before, benching fan-favorite player Will Ferrell, but understandably so. And the Spitballs did a reshuffling of their field. Have kept, I think, almost all the same players on the field. One substitution, bringing Miyamoto out to the right field. Previously, that spot, I don't remember who it had gone to. I'm so bad at remembering who used to play these positions. But I know Miyamoto's the newer addition. It worked for them in this last game, but it was decently close against the Eggs. I think both of these teams have a lot of potential. I don't know how close each is to realizing it.
Well, we're gonna have to see. It was on Mario Stadium that the Fireeggs realized that amazing comeback against the new Firebrand rookies 2 games ago. And, well, after going down in the first game of this day against a excellent play by the Spitballs on Bowser Jr.'s Playroom, we're going to have to see if the second game of this series, on Mario Stadium, if the more even terrain favors the Fireeggs. And we'll find out exactly whether or not that's the case now. Despite the fact... No, it was a different team I'm thinking of for my point. Never mind. Spitballs versus the Fireeggs. Game 3 of Playday 6 for Grand Slam Galaxy begins right now. As I keep tabulating these scoreboards because I'm too goddamn curious now. It's a sin. It's a sin. It's a sin. Also, big shout out for the Flowers for their run differential for the season going from -1 to 1.
And
wow,
we
what a
have the
start
Dry
for the
Bones
Spitballs.
player starting us off by hitting a double. Good shot up right center. It'll be Reggie following that up. It is Green Dry Bones that plays for the Spitballs. Reggie follows it up with another deep shot out to right center. He'll only turn... Wait, that's not Reggie.
That's Iwata.
That is Iwata, but I think Iwata is currently named Reggie.
Oh my god, is the batting order on?
No, I don't know. I just think that Iwata is currently named Reggie. That'll be a ground into double play that will bring home Green Dry Bones. I need some refreshing on this, because I know that's Iwata. I don't think I would have said Reggie otherwise.
I will check the tape for you because of my suspicions. I didn't.
Like, did I just see something weird? Am I hallucinating? Am I misremembering something?
What do you mean?
I don't think I would.
We've been playing here in the Winter CPU Classic this entire time. Well, the Spitballs turn a single run, and a single run is all they're gonna get in the first inning, as the Fireeggs will get the chance to fire back with what I hope is a good performance from Mario, who does just hit the ball too far into Wiggler's glove. Are you now as distracted as I am trying to figure out what happened? Don't worry, I see that.
A little bit. We're gonna see some star pitch by Waluigi immediately called out and hit by Ash Ketchum, sending it sailing into right field for a double. Baby DK with the RBI chance.
Oh,
Baby
no.
DK's gonna send it to third, but
Wait.
we've got a rundown situation. Ash will slide home.
What?
We're not home. I am all jumbled. I'm getting my bases mixed up now, Willie. Ash will slide back into second, and it will ultimately be a single for Baby DK off some weird fielding decisions.
Well, you'll
by
be
the
happy.
Spitballs.
You'll be happy to know I went back and checked the footage, and they definitely typed Reggie instead of Iwata's name, which is incredibly weird. And the double play from the Spitballs defense will at least let us reset our brains as the Fireeggs are shut down in their first attempt this inning.
It's good to know that I'm not hallucinating. Here's Miyamoto.
Line drive out to, oh, that's ambiguous. Okay, it does bounce off the back, and the power block will further hurt Baby Luigi, but Miyamoto will not opt to take advantage of it. K. Rool taken off the mound early, and Mario taken from that third base position. Very capable pitcher, as we saw last time that this team was on Mario Stadium. It'll be up to him to navigate through this Spitballs lineup. He'll do just that.
Dead. Oh yeah, he will do just that. I am all jumbled. I'm gonna need a little bit more time for a mental reset. Here comes Waluigi.
Waluigi. If anyone can hit a crooked ball just to confuse us, it's him, but without opting for the star power today, he'll opt for the nice hit down the left third baseline. Excuse me.
And I think we might be living in a bit of a bizarre world because Waluigi just hit a clean line drive.
Well, Eggman will attempt to replicate it, but no, hits it right out to Baby Luigi in that right field position, and the Spitballs are shut down in the second inning. That one-run lead will always be precarious when the Fireeggs have King K. Rool on their side, and he'll have to see if he can pop this ball from the starred pitcher Waluigi. Well, he'll pop it, but it'll be a pop fly. as Eggman on the shortstop position just has to back up a little bit to secure that one.
And a weak hit by Fireeggs Captain Yoshi will be a second easy out for the Spitballs. Waluigi just needs to send one more packing to keep the game scoreless for the Fireeggs. He's thrown another star pitch, and it will be a weak hit up the first base line and just turning foul by Baby Luigi, followed by a good hit out to center, well positioned, right over the heads of the infielders, dropping before the outfielders can come in.
Well, we'll see if his brother Mario is able to replicate that success, and the bobble from Eggman allows it. Shortstop position cursed today on Mario Stadium as the inning-ending catch falls out of Eggman's glove, and led Yoshi, the starred player, given a chance to tie this game. No. This time, the next hit is brought straight back to shortstop, and Eggman is able to end that inning against the Fireeggs. Green Dry Bones homer, I don't care.
Nope, it'll just be a slap hit out to left field.
For a fraction of a second, did you feel fear?
He didn't charge it up at all, so I don't think we had to worry too much about it. This is a clean hit by Iwata, running up the center of the field with a little bit of shell interference that just gives Green Dry Bones time to think better of his running and turn around. And now Blooper. Oh, just barely turning foul off what was a beautiful potential drive. Now it's just going to be a slap hit up center. That gives Blooper time to run, and some questionable fielding means they don't even capitalize on the collapsed Iwata. And the bases are loaded with no outs for the Spitballs. Wiggler here. Let's see if he hits it out of the park. Mario throwing a fire fastball right up the plate. And Wiggler's just going to slap it out into right field for some quick little small ball. Running over to first, but everyone else advances too, as two come in. Runners on corners, no outs, and now it's a 3-run lead.
I'm not sure Wiggler ever has hit the ball out of the park. He's a very strong batter, but he uses that. His style is always those slaps that go perfectly placed in the outfield. And now it's Reggie. I should have paid attention to if his name said Iwata or not. Who's able to knock that ball into perfect place to get back to loaded positions. Miyamoto now will have to see what he can do. The first out of the inning is Baby Luigi catching that ball. I hesitate to call it a sac fly, but it's at least out far enough that Blooper will be able to run home from third base and make this a 4-run lead for the Spitballs.
Now it's co-captain, former captain, whatever you want to call him, Wario, up to the plate.
Oh no.
That's a deep out to right. This might be a home run, and it will. Baby Mario not able to run out to support his baby brother in time. There will be no super jump. There will be no chemistry. Just a 3-run home run by Wario.
Well,
I mean, what a better pitcher for him to hit that against. You know he did that just to show up Mario today.
Well, Fireeggs fans, are you feeling nostalgic? Are you feeling perhaps the turn back of time? It's 7-0 against them in Mario Stadium, and after being inept is not the right word, after being ineffective in the first 3 innings of the bats, I kind of assumed they would score the third out by the time I finished this sentence, but no, the Spitballs get a runner on first, runner on second. We're back to Iwata as the Fireballs need to shut down this offense, and finally Pegasus will be the man to do so. Okay. Does anyone else feel... Wait a second. Third inning? Let me double check something. Rookies versus
think
Fireeggs. The rookies scored their 6 runs in inning number 2. It's
Thought you
not.
might be seeing double for a moment there, Willie.
I just got nervous for a second. Don't worry. The Fireeggs, though, are the one team in this league that we absolutely cannot count out of this yet. As they are starting to tire down first starting pitcher and starter pitcher Waluigi, and Wario takes the mound. Ash Ketchum is going to have to try to advance Mario on first base to try to get this offense going, and will do just that with a solid hit out to center left. You'll excuse me if I wasn't sure whether that ball was caught. Wiggler just not able to get into position in time, and runners on the corners with no outs for the Fireeggs. With a line drive from Baby DK that will be caught this time.
I just want to point out, Willie, that we have seen both starting pitchers step off the mound within the first 2 innings. It's not uncommon for either of them. King K. Rool and Waluigi both don't have a lot of stamina.
Well,
and Pegasus hitting that one right over to Iwata for the solo double play at first base.
very perfect double play trick. They're going to be happy with that time save. As now it's Blooper's responsibility on the Spitballs to see what he can do. Wow, a great dive by Ash Ketchum. Is able to shut that batter down.
Caught that one like it was Pikachu falling from a Team Rocket contraption. Here comes Wiggler. That one's gonna go sailing over his head.
Mario really feeling it, but he'll choose to stay in against, I want to say Iwata for the joke, Reggie at the plate, who will ground out to Pegasus at the second base position, and the double play will allow the Fireeggs to escape this inning with no damage. They didn't start scoring in their comeback against the rookies, which is like the 5th time I brought up that comeback, until inning number 6. I will stop bringing up the comeback when it stops feeling so scarily possible to come back into play.
Well, Wario's doing everything he can on the mound to shut that down, and Iwata's helping him out at first base, hopping to catch that line drive from King K. Rool. Here's a hit from Yoshi, a little bit of Boo assistance, and a missed catch by Blooper. Will carry it into the right field to allow for a single. Baby Luigi up at plate. And hitting it right up the center field line.
Baby Mario. Power position, but dangerous position, as if Eggman had caught that. That would have been a double play to end the inning for the Fireeggs. Instead, bases loaded with only 1 out as the starred player Red Yoshi is coming back up to bat.
Very dangerous position for the Spitballs. Eggman's gonna... Oh no! It goes a little bit wide. Just misses Blooper.
Neither of those players are starred. That was just a misplay, but the pop out to right field will at least stop further damage from Mario. That was almost a weirdly heavy ball. Given who's on the mound, I'm almost curious if there was tampering with how quickly that fell. That was just weird. But
and
no.
This time a hit from Ash Ketchum. That's going to be another single and drive another home, keeping this bases loaded rally running. The inning is not over yet for Wario and the Spitballs. They have to navigate at least Baby DK. And another solid hit, but this one goes right up the line to Green Drybones. Reels it in, stands on the base, gets an out.
Well, with Miyamoto, Wario, and Waluigi, Mario is opting to stay on the mound to face a very, very dangerous part of this rotation from the Spitballs, that single from Miyamoto, makes me have to assume that he'll be stepping off. Yes, he will not want to face the co-captains of Wario and Waluigi, and it's Yoshi who will come forward to try to stop this offense. I don't know. Okay. Okay, good start. Pitcher's blessing as Wario's strong hit isn't strong enough and falls right into Ash Ketchum's glove for the double play.
Waluigi stepping up, staring down Yoshi, winding up, thinking twice. Caught looking. Sends it this time over the head of Ash Ketchum. Not going to repeat Wario's mistake. Clean double. Even the items ultimately do not interfere. Those 5 bananas just sitting out on the field.
I think Waluigi just wants
an honest double.
He's going home?
One of the most dishonest players in the league is now going to get caught out at home for no reason.
Well, you gotta have more baseball IQ than that if you're going to try to lead a team, and instead he's caught out. Not a lot of danger, if we're being honest, for the Spitballs, as they still hold that 5-run lead, but it's now the Fireeggs offense is online. Pegasus knocks it up the center for a single, and it's K. Rool with all the ability to put on some danger. A hit straight up the center. Reggie will have to get there in time.
He will, but they're not even gonna try. It was far too high up. King K. Rool hitting a 2-run bomb into deep center field, just a little bit left of the direct center line.
Okay, I think they thought that ball was staying in the park. I think they thought it might have been one of those situations where it comes down and it barely stays in and it bounces off the wall. But the lack of willingness to try to play that lets the double home run from K. Rool, the 2-run home from K. Rool, make this lead just that little bit shorter for the Spitballs. Yoshi gets on base. Baby Luigi, well, it hits into a double play, but you know, they're still trying.
Baby Mario here to keep the inning alive for the Fireeggs. He's going to slap it, but it's going to be deep enough to right field that it'll be an easy catch for Miyamoto, who they then set on fire afterwards.
Well, maybe consistency will be the name of the game for the Fireeggs, as their 2 scoring innings have been back-to-back 2-run innings. The Spitballs will have to prove that they're able to produce, and that 6-run inning in the 3rd was not just luck for them. Green Drybones will get on first base, and it'll be Iwata up second to try to keep this danger going for the Fireeggs. Good clean shot up the middle. Sorry.
Yeah, hit up center. That's all I was going to say. For another single. Lead-offs for this team, showing their consistency. Here's another good one by Blooper, and another misuse of a POW that just did not need to be fired. Stunning Iwata before he can make it to second. Pegasus makes it over first.
Baby Luigi looks so small out in right field. Star pitch from Yoshi, rare opportunity. That invisible ball, though, is not able to find its way past Wiggler, whose slap hit will allow the runner on third base, Green Drybones, to make it home. I want to make Baby Luigi an outfield my new, profile icon or something. He's just so ditty. But oh well. Teeny. Okay, odd almost failure to turn that double play from Pegasus and Ash Ketchum, as Ash Ketchum almost didn't tag the bag. They'll keep the Spitballs at 1, though. Are you with us, Silver Lily?
I am with you, Willie. My apologies. You seemed like you had that handled, and I didn't have much to say. As it is, a bobble from Eggman's gonna turn an easy out into a single for star player Red Yoshi.
That's 2 bobbles in the same position from Eggman this game. Blooper, meanwhile. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Blooper able to pick up the slack and turn the double play with a little bit of help from Iwata. The shortstop position seems to be having some trouble today, Willie. It's been the second baseman that have been the consistent slack takers, but like Light Blue Yoshi had a couple bobbles, now Eggman's had a couple bobbles. I guess Blue Pianta was a solid player for the Flowers in that game against the Bows, but seeing some uncharacteristic sloppy play from those shortstop players today.
Well, at least Eggman is able to get a little bit of shine back on his shoulder, as he'll be the one who catches the final out of that inning to send the Fireeggs packing at the bottom of the 6th. Still pressure. This is a 4-run game, which on over 3 innings is anything but unmanageable. But the Fireeggs need to really turn this pressure on, as they have, I would argue, less hitting potential than this Spitballs lineup. The defense, though, is what will come alive, as Pegasus and Ash Ketchum are able to turn a double play off of Wario's hit to the second base position. And the captain, Waluigi, will have to see what he can do.
Right now, it's just gonna be a foul, a dangerous-looking one if he has some better aim. But for now, just a foul.
Well, at least knocks it out, and in a repeat of a play previous in this game, the hit out to deep center left from Waluigi lets him record a double on his stat sheet. Now it's up to Eggman to see if he can bring him home. A pop up to center field might do more than that. The babies are in position, but they don't make the jump.
A 2-run home run from Eggman.
Is the sun in their eyes?
Just a bit too high for even the super jump. And now, Yoshi, Captain Yoshi, beginning to tire on that mound. Green Drybones hitting another single. Very consistent player.
The Fireeggs have got to get out of this inning now without letting up any more damage. Iwata will hit the ball, though, straight out to center, and if Green Drybones is feeling brave, Iwata feels brave and tries to turn it into a double way too late. This is some of the strangest play that I've seen in Grand Slam Galaxy, with both teams late running choices, not making defensive catches when they can.
There has been some weirdness today, Willie.
Well, regardless of that weirdness, the Fireeggs will not be able to set up the position they were 2 innings ago, with a runner on and a double run from King K. Rool. No, King K. Rool will have empty bases as he steps up to the plate, and his team needs this.
Charge up.
Ugh.
But even off the charge up, just the wrong spot of that Royal Scepter, hitting the ball, sending it dribbling out to Eggman, and it's an easy out at first. Star pitch from Wario. And it's a similar story. Weak hit over to shortstop. Eggman can't bobble that. Sends it to first, and sends the Eggs packing for the inning.
The Fireeggs are now in deep trouble. They'll only have 2 more attempts at the bat to score 6 runs. Which, hey, even if they split it across both, they haven't had a 3-run inning yet this entire game, so it'll have to be a turnaround. Before they even get there, with their captain Yoshi tiring on the mound, they need to shut down this Spitballs offense as it starts to enter its most dangerous part of the rotation. The double play as Ash Ketchum catches a line drive from Wiggler and turns it over to first. Will be exactly what they need.
But a slap hit by Reggie, the actual Reggie, not Iwata Reggie, will finally chase Yoshi from the mound. And now it's Ash Ketchum to show us how he can pitch him. Not very well to start off with, because there's another slap hit up the center. And the Nintendo executives, past and present, continue to lead or to take bases. Lead the Spitballs offense. Wario hitting another long drive into left center. That's going to allow Reggie to run home.
That's now a 7-run differential that the Fireeggs need to make up, and they're not out of this yet. Ash Ketchum will have to try to force a weak hit from Waluigi, who does not do that. No, he hits it out to that center left position and bats at another runner, but Wario caught out running. Can K. Rool? No, K. Rool cannot catch him.
Does not try and stop him.
The 8-run lead now for the Spitballs with only two innings remaining. And again, the center left position, I don't know how the Spitballs keep finding it. I don't know how Baby Mario and Baby DK both fail their catches. And a little bit of extra bullying for the captain Waluigi, as him and Wario both make it in safe off the play. And what started as a 6-run difference, this inning is turning into a 10-run difference.
It's now Green Drybones, I believe the one that led off this inning, back up at bat, this time to end it, as he sends it sailing into the glove of Baby DK in left field. A 4-run inning, multiple solid hits in procession, several with 2 outs.
It's now or never.
Finally come to a close.
It's now or never for the Fireeggs, and it looked like it might be never, as Baby Luigi's hit is caught easily by Blooper at that second base position.
And you have to wonder if maybe this baby restructure might have given them a stronger outfield, but it seems to have not done great for the Fireeggs hitting. Those 2 babies are not known for their batting. They've not been able to make anything happen in the 2 games we've seen them.
And the star player, Red Yoshi, makes great contact, and it will land firmly in Green Drybones' glove. What great aim from that player. The Spitballs enter the 9th inning with a 10-run lead, and a pop-up from Iwata will at least let the babies, provided that they, yes, do make that catch, show off that they are great defensive players if brought into the backline.
Haven't had many opportunities to make that happen this game, so it is good to see that from them. Remind the Fireeggs why they were put out there in the first place. Blooper up at bat, Wiggler in the hole. Or, sorry, Wiggler to follow. I think in the hole is the one that comes after Who's Next.
I'm trying to remember. I played baseball as a kid, badly, and I'm trying to remember what the next runner on is, because that is very familiar, but I'm not able to place it in my head. Regardless, Wiggler will hit that slap hit out to center.
Like, it's one up at bat, one on deck, one in the hole, right?
One on deck. That's the term I was looking for. Ooh, my phone company letting me know that I failed to renew my phone contract. So, whoops, no one text me because I will not get it.
Uh-oh.
But is the reception of the Fireeggs strong enough to communicate what they need? Well, Mario got the message, as that shot out to right field. Ambiguity leads to Wiggler not thinking he needs to run for it, and he'll sneak 1 run just out of this ballpark to start the inning for the Fireeggs. It would have to be a miracle inning for them, but as Wario starts to tire, and I presume Blooper would be the relief pitcher after that. Blooper is a fantastic pitcher. Ash Ketchum now has got to hit him, and he'll hit it straight into Eggman's glove. That'll be the first out of the inning. Baby DK, who's had a resurgence in the last couple of games offensively, is able to keep that going with a shot up the middle for a single.
We will be seeing Wario finally giving up the mound, this time to Reggie. That will put a bit of a hole in that outfield chemistry, specifically in left, but it won't matter because a quick double play ends the game.
We were not really ready for it to end off something like that. The double play off weak contact sends the Fireeggs packing, and the Spitballs continue their resurgence as it's Eggman in that shortstop position despite his 2 bobbles, who secures MVP honors. And that 14-5 game ends for the Spitballs as they take, I think, double checking here, both games in this series against the Fireeggs? Yes.
That is both of them. Yes, indeed, Willie. And I think that brings them to 3-3 on the season.
I think you're right. Let's check these stats real quick. Eggman, of course, barely holding on to that. I still think he maybe should have gotten a little bit of minus in the fielding score for those 2 bobbles, but he'll hold on to it despite the ever-consistent slap hitter of Wiggler hanging out right behind him. And the Fireeggs not able to get much despite attempts later in that game to bring it back. I really thought with that solo shot homer from Mario that they had some life left in them, but no. Weak contact ends their game. It won't nearly end their season. We're only in Playday 6 out of 14. But as you said before, that now means that the Spitballs rise out of the bottom of the conference. They actually, for the first time in the season, will hit a positive run differential as they go up to 3 wins, 3 losses, and +1. And the Fireeggs will fall further behind as they'll hit that 2-4 win-loss record. What are you thinking about both these teams going forward?
I think the Fireeggs at this point need to be looking to make some big changes. They do not have a winning record. They've managed to turn a couple of turnaround wins, but that's all they have going for them. They're one of the only teams to have fallen to the Bows, and it was pre-algorithm Bows as well. This new outfield just has not mattered for them so much in their games against the Spitballs. Maybe against other heavier hitting teams, it could be an option. Maybe against the Monsters or the Musicians, that might be good. They have a variety of players. They have some options. They really need to figure out how to put it all together or look to make some trades. Because right now, it's just looking rough for them. As for the Spitballs, I think we're starting to see what they can do. They've done some restructuring of their own, but not too much. And at least against this Egg squad, who has occasionally been able to keep it close with some other teams, they've seemed pretty dominant.
Well, good on both teams. And we're not even halfway through the season, so reasons to believe that either of them can push forward heading into that second half. In the meantime, we have one last game today, and it promises to be a barn burner as the early might of the Peaches Monarchs are going to have to find their way past Well, the team that really put the word resurgent in my head this morning, the Bowser Jr. Rookies, on Yoshi Park's day. I have once again clicked save instead of load. God bless our troops. It's me, I'm the troops. Rookies versus Monarchs, game 2. Here we see it. Okay. You know, it's a weird team that we've got on the Rookies. They've really filled it up with a bunch of different Mii characters, but when you've got the batting consistency of 2 critters and a hammer bro, when you've got the pitching power Bowser Jr., well, this will be a hard team to crack for anyone going forward, and after they took down the Monarchs last Playday, I don't think anyone is going to look at this team and turn up their nose. We're going to have to see what type of magic they can perform. Meanwhile, Silver Lily, how are the Monarchs looking heading into this game?
The Monarchs are not quite as dominant as they've been in the past, but very close. They're 4-2 on the season. 1 loss to the Rookies, admittedly, I believe in this last game. And then 1 loss to the Flowers in surprising upsets both times. But do not count these Monarchs out. They have excellent power, excellent defense, and excellent pitching across the board. They are a multi-threat team that is well-rounded. The Rookies have had a stunning comeback this season, and I will say, no bias, I want to see them win today because I am a Rookies fan. I am a Rookies fan at this point. I like watching them win.
Well, we'll
but
see. Oh.
The Monarchs are not to be underestimated.
Well, both these teams stand right now with a 3-2 record. Whoever wins this game will seal a solo spot in 2nd place as the only team with a 4-win record coming out of Playday number 6. Will it be the Monarchs re-establishing themselves, or will the Rookies' rise continue? We'll find out now in game number 4 of Playday number 6 in Grand Slam Galaxy. We're heading to Yoshi Park Day, which can be a very swingy stadium for these teams. We're going to have to see who can exactly bring this back. Reestablishing the monarchy. God, throwing my water ball on the ground. I should have seen that one coming. Or I should have seen that one.
PD Piranha looking to lead things off, but instead just sends it deep to Brown Critter in center field. Here's Boomerang Bro. That one's going to turn foul, but immediately with a showcase of power.
Oh,
it's this
no.
top lineup you really have to worry about. It's a second foul. This one a little bit further out. Boomerang Bro, just gonna slap it on the third one. Didn't want to take a further risk. Is going to make John Cena bobble it with some item support from Blue Magic Koopa. But it'll just be sent over to Brown Critter again for another out.
Technically not a bobble. He slid into it in the same way that you would to secure like a fast throw.
That makes sense.
Still 3 up, 3 out from the Monarchs. Then again, excellent fielding from while it was excellent fielding from the Rookies to catch all those, I would not be sweating if I was a Monarchs fan. All 2 of your star batters and also Magic Koopa really showed the power they can bring if left unattended. Don't worry about it.
You gotta get out of the way once the ball's caught, Toadette. You can't just stand there.
I also only just noticed now that the train, we've argued about it being slower or not in the past, but it's definitely shorter since it only has 2 segments on Yoshi Day as opposed to 4 segments on Yoshi Night. Regardless, Toadsworth, excellent start to this game for him, as it's 3 outs racked up very quickly against the rookies.
Those half innings rhymed, Willie. 3 strong hits, 3 quick outs from each team. Let's see who gets to keep it up longer as Firebro steps up to the plate against starting pitcher, fan favorite Cookie.
It's like poetry, it rhymes. Oh my god, another solid hit, but this one will not be interfered with as Firebro is the one to open up this scoreboard with a clean, strong shot out to right field on a trajectory which I'm not sure most teams could have caught, honestly, regardless of the train interference. And Darkbones, who's always been that solid hitter for the Monarchs as well, comes to the plate.
Just enough to hit a single here, Willie. Just enough power. Once again, hitting it up center over the heads of the infielders, but down before it can reach the outfield. A stadium like this, that's a little bit easier to do with its longer dimensions. Toadette follows up similarly, much closer to that shortstop position, but just out of Critter's range.
Oh no.
And now here's a shot from Blue Toad, just barely falling back in. Will ultimately only be a single with some indecisiveness from the Monarchs runners, uncertain what that was going to be. It will load the bases for Captain Peach.
Peach, unlike her flower sister, has not been able to produce on the plate, and her relatively weaker hit will be fielded by Green Critter at that shortstop position to turn a double. Still a runner in scoring position for the Monarchs. Still a chance to keep this scoreboard further and further in their favor, but first Toadsworth will have to secure a hit off of Cookie, and does just that, knocking it up to the shortstop position. Green Critter will be involved in all 3 outs for the inning as he forces the turned out at second base to keep the only run so far, that solo shot homer from Firebro.
Now it's the rookies' time to see if they can make anything happen. Will not happen with Cookie as Boomerang Bro reels in that hit up center and instead turns it to an out at first. Hammer Bro stepping up to the plate. Sends it deep and far and still in the park. Going to only take a single off that despite item and train interference, and that would have been a single either way.
That would have been like a triple if he had just kept running, honestly.
If he had just kept running, yeah. But it would have been a single, since he didn't keep running, it was going to be a single even if they didn't interfere, is what I meant. Bouncer keeps the rally going with another hit up center for a single, bringing up to the plate.
I'm
Just
not
gonna look at one.
I'm nervous about this all of a sudden. I've got a bad feeling, and that bad feeling proves to be, well, honestly, could have been worse, as will at least allow the runners to advance to second and third, but she herself will ground out, and now it's Brown Critter's chance, his duty to get something going with the runners on second and third. The high hit out to the outfield, but the train interference.
It will come in. It will fall back in, but that's 2 RBIs and a triple off of that.
Yoshi Park shows its teeth. And the 2 RBIs and the triple from Brown Critter will be something that puts the rookies in the lead early in this game, before Toadsworth says he can't take the pressure and is taken off the mound for Captain Peach to try to leave her mark. And, well, now comes the question of this game. Can the rookies chase Peach off early, or will Peach be here all the way till the end?
She's able to turn that quick out with some infield support. that will keep the rookies with only a 1-run lead. PD Piranha, lead off batter, stepping up once again. A weak hit from PD Piranha will just dribble up the line to Hammer Bro. That's going to
Uncharacteristically,
be an easy out.
Mr. Iceberg Lettuce looks more like lo mein as those leaves aren't able to stay stiff on contact.
Remains the better lettuce anyway, I must say.
Meh. Well, Magic Koopa will keep the pressure on with a single, and it's the man who scored the solo shot homer earlier, now with 2 runners on, and the ability to really give the Monarchs a lead here. Contact goes out to right field and is caught by to deny the play.
Now it's on Dark Bones to try and bring these runners in. 2 outs, 2 on. And it's a Hammer Bro catch to shut them down. A little bit of the Monarchs' own medicine being used against them there.
You know, it almost makes me wonder if we'll see more Magic Koopas after this Playday in that second base shortstop position to try to get the advantage that we thought was almost exclusive to the range of these bros.
I would not be surprised to be seeing both more Magic Koopas and some more Yoshis. Well, Yoshis risk a bobble that the Magic Koopas and Hammer Bros don't. They can still reel them in a bit better, as Light Blue Yoshi has shown. Screwed up a couple of times today in the game against the Musicians, but Yoshis are not to be underestimated as infield players.
Well, it almost makes me wonder if a bobble is worth it when the alternative is just sailing straight past your player.
Now, I can say that Musicians management certainly seems to think so.
Regardless, while we were talking about that, the rookies quickly load the bases with their first 3 runners, and it's fan favorite Cookie who's able to drill the shot to deep left field to allow 2 of those, Captain Bowser Jr. and Brock, to run all the way home as the rookies expand their lead.
And that's how fast the Home Run Galaxy League, or is it a Grand Slam Galaxy League? My mistake, much bigger.
Oh no.
Moves, Willie. You can't talk about defensive players without one of the best offenses in the league batting in 5 runs on you.
Fire Bro, single shot homer? No, that's not enough. Hammer Bro decides he wants 3 as he knocks home a home run of his own. And Peach is already starting to tire early in this game.
And against such a devastating onslaught, no outs, no on anymore. That's because they all just came home. Trying to continue the rally, will not, as the Bro infield finally finds their 2 outs. Trying to shut this down, preserve Peach in the game for just a little bit longer, but what had been close has turned very quickly disastrous for the Monarchs, and their offense has got to step up right now if they're gonna stay in this game.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had trouble in the 4th inning, but I would be looking forward to a devastating 5th from them if that happened. That's only if these runners of Toadette, or these batters of Toadette, Blue Toad, and Peach aren't able to turn anything, and Toadette caught
Doesn't
out.
quite have the speed.
Now it's Blue Toad's turn.
Yeah, good chemistry in this part of the batting lineup, but these items often come out just a little bit late to really matter. Not needed there, the Toads are generally decent hitters.
Well, Peach, who has not had any luck on the bat, continues that distress as she hits it right to Hammer Bro to enable the double play. Now, that means that inning 5 will be a very dangerous batting order that the rookies have to deal with. But in the meantime, hey, when you've got a team full of Miis, when you got a team with 2 critters and a Hammer Bro on it, this might be, realizing it now, the highest average batting score in the league?
It might be, Willie.
The weakest...
I don't think they have a single weak batter on their team.
The weakest batter has a score from spring training of 6, and that's all the Miis. Well,
that is the face of this new look rookies. They've poured it all into their offense with some solid defense to back it up. But it's really the offensive game they're relying on in a way no other team really is. Using Miis to make sure that there are no gaps in their hitting. They're willing to sacrifice some other defensive players. They don't, or some other position players. They don't have defensive utility players in the way other teams have Magic Koopas or Yoshis or Koopas. They don't have, you know, outfield runners like a Dixie Kong or, again, a Yoshi or one of the baby players. It's just nothing but solid bats up and down the line. Of course, while I talk about them, the Monarchs are putting 2 on with PD Piranha and Boomerang Bro hitting quick singles.
this is the dangerous 5th that I said that the rookies would have to get through. Now if Magic Koopa can just avoid the double play here, and will at least avoid the double with that pop fly.
Are we going to see train interference?
No, we'll see
item
interference.
Fire interference, and then train interference. Oh no! PD Piranha stops running. Magic Koopa takes second, and Boomerang Bro left stranded between second and third. No support for the team, just fed to the infield. Now it's Fire Bro who's got to try and bring these 2 home. After an unnecessary out occurs, train interference isn't going to matter. Brown Critter's going to shake that one off and keep running. That ball went too high.
Well, that's about what you want from the rookies here as they're going into the bottom of the 5th still with that 6-run lead and about to potentially chase Peach herself, the strongest pitcher in this league, off the mound. Green Critter, with a solid hit out to center right, will net himself a double, and Cookie looks to keep this pressure on. Peach needs to get out of this cleanly if she wants to avoid 2 runners on for Hammer Bro. And no, Hammer Bro will have just that as the single from the Cookie puts runners on the corners, and someone besides Peach, Magic Koopa, will have to face down this bat.
And this is such an early substitution for the Monarchs. Peach has not had the longevity she's needed lately. Toad not able to get over to Toadette in time. Hammer Bro shooting off another 3-run bomb. I don't think we're going to be seeing Magic Koopa for very long, Willie. I think he's going right back out to the field soon. The rookies determined to take second for their own and hold it.
Okay. With the bats they've got, I would never call the Monarchs out. But this consistency strategy from the rookies, after that incredibly key play during the trading frenzy between Playday 2 and 3, to get to get Brown Critter, has turned this team from disaster into monster. As Brown Critter nets himself, not disaster. They were like fine, but now they're looking to prove themselves as one of, if not the top team in this league. Bowser Jr. has a tricky position here. Run on first, run on second, but 2 outs against the pitching of Fire Bro, who got subbed in and we forgot to make a comment on it.
I absolutely did forget to make a comment on it. I'm just in disbelief with how this game is going. And that's going to be another safe run. Now, Magic Koopa can fulfill another one of those infield roles like the Bros. Great with those catches, so that's not that bad for this Monarchs infield. Toadette will finally take the catch off of Brock's bat to end the inning, but now it's a 10-run lead.
Remember,
Cookie is only now starting to tire, and you know they have Bowser Jr. queued up and ready to go behind that. Little bit of train interference, but it's ultimately not going to matter. It's just going to be a single. A little bit higher, and that might have been a train-assisted home run, but nothing you can do.
The hit from Toadette will put 2 runners on now for the Monarchs. As a reminder for everybody, the biggest comeback we've seen in league history was only 6. So now the Monarchs have to try to make history, and instead the rookies will make plays after that line hit up the first baseline results in a triple play against the Monarchs. And it has now been 4 innings since they scored a run, and that was just a solo shot homer from Firebro. Pressure's on Firebro to, after scoring the only run for this team this inning, prove to be the pitcher that they need, as he'll have to make it past Cookie, but he'll do just that, as she gets a weak hit and grounds out to shortstop. Now it's the man, the myth, the powerhouse legend in this Bros showdown. Hammerbro gets good contact. It won't be a home run, but it will be a single. That's not the first triple play of the league. That is, I think, the second, maybe the third, but there's definitely been one earlier this season.
Oh, yeah, no, we saw one in the Flowers Fireeggs game right at the start of the season, really.
Was it? No. Wait, wasn't it the Bows versus the Fireeggs in their first series?
I think it was the preseason game.
Ah, okay. Well, good news for the Monarchs as they shut down the rookies and deny any further points on the scoreboard, but with 10 runs to make up. Well, look, if Peach and Toadsworth can get on base, and Peach will at least get on, the Smile Bobber from Brown Critter won't matter much. Was that Bob or was that a knock? I'm not sure. Okay.
I'm not certain. Having both get on can be a bit of an ask, but Toadsworth takes the chance and both show off that they can bat and they can make it count when they're given the opportunity.
But as the
that will finally take Cookie off the mound. Go ahead, Willie. My apologies.
Oh, I was just going to say, the most dangerous batters now for the Monarchs up. Petey Purana, I don't think this train will hit. Oh, the train does hit Oh Ho Ho and guarantee a little bit of safety, unsureness, and, well, it would have just been a pop fly out. But instead, it's loaded bases for Boomerang Bro.
This is what you want to see if you are a Monarchs fan. This is their path back into this. A shot up a solid line out between first and second base that slows way down after the infield. Gives Boomerang Bro plenty of time to run to first, maintains loaded bases. Now it's Magic Koopa. Needs to not hit into a double play mostly, is actually going to find a solid hit, allowing Toadsworth to run home, and again, another single. This right field starting to become a bit of a problem spot for the rookies. Oh Ho Ho is just not able to cover the ground she needs to.
Well, it's up to Firebro, who scored that solo hit before, but will settle for a star hit. But no, it's caught by Oh Ho Ho, who throws it home, and Petey Purana at least makes it back. Okay. not what you want, but
Ultimately kind of a sacrifice fly, I suppose.
basically, yeah.
Now it is Darkbones, another power hitter. Charging up, finds the shot. It's going deep. It's going to have to contend with the train tunnel. I think it's fallen too much, and it will fall after bouncing off right into John Cena's glove, but it does bounce, so it is not an immediate out. Just a single for Darkbones, bringing up Toadette.
Bases are loaded, and we are nearing back. They've almost rounded the batting order on the Monarch side, as Toadette will have to face this star pitch. Misses the first time.
Going to try and find a slap here,
Ooh.
does, but it goes right over to Hammer Bro, who sends it to Critter to end the inning. Only 3 runs off of what might have been Monarch's best chance to bring this game back under control. And now it's Firebro on the mound.
Oh, an ambiguous hit from Brown. Critter stays in for a solo shot homer. No, Brown Critter says, you are not back in this game yet. I'm going to park this ball exactly where it needs to be to keep my team ahead by 8. John Cena, the last batter in this order before we reset back to Bowser Jr. And he'll at least, he'll hit that ball pretty solid position out to right field to get that single. Charge up hit for Bowser Jr. results in good contact. The pipe doesn't much matter, as it's a single either way for Bowser Jr.
Here comes Brock. And another star pitch from Firebro. Finds the strike, but that's about all. Brock's gonna slap it, and it gets reeled in by Boomerang Bro, who's able to turn a triple play to cut off the rookies in this inning. They'll only get that solo shot. And now it's up to the Monarchs again. 8 runs to make up. They have to triple their score in order to stay in this game at the very least. Blue Toad's gonna start it off with a hit past the infield, right, curving to the right of second base for a single.
Wild to me that we've seen 2 triple plays by both teams. Now it's Bowser Jr., who can't sneak it past with his star pitch, but instead Peach knocks it straight to Hammerbro's glove at second base, and that's a double play. The pressure's on for the old man Toadsworth. The steady hand grounds out to second base, and that now means that if the Monarchs want a route back into this game, it's by scoring 8 runs in 1 inning. Step 1 on that path is completely shutting down this rookie's offense.
And with a tiring Firebro up against a Critter, I don't know if we're gonna see that happen. Here's a charge shot. Here's the deep bomb. Toad's running into position. They barely make the catch this time. We will not see another Critter-flavored solo shot.
Wild. I really thought both innings were about to start the same way with a solo shot out to left field, but no. Green Critter is shut down, and maybe that's a sign of life for the Monarchs. But first, well, there's one. No matter what happens with Cookie, they have to get past Hammer, bro. Cookie will at least hit it straight to the third base princess of Peach. And Hammer Bro, who's done so much damage, grounds out to first. The Monarchs have 1 win condition left, and it's one of the most dominating innings that we will see in Grand Slam Galaxy history if it happens. Starting at the top of their order, which is not where they necessarily want to be right now. They want a runner or 2 on for their power hitters. They definitely
Instead,
don't want...
the power hitter's not even going to get on. With that deep shot, just not going far enough, not going fast enough. John Cena's gonna find it.
PD really quite a hot or cold character batter to have on this team. And runs cold today as Boomerang Bro is not able to replicate all of the success of Fire Bro, but the bats heated up enough for a solid single off a line drive to right. Now Magic Koopa needs to not end this game for the Monarchs, which is a big ask against such a strong pitcher.
Another deep hit, this time by Magic Koopa, and a fumble!
Oh my lord.
That was looking like it might spell another step to the end for the Monarchs. Not quite the end, they'd still have had another out to work with. Instead, they've got another 2, and Fire Bro's looking to take advantage. It's a 3-run home run. Fire Bro looking at Hammer Bro and saying, I can do it too.
There's no. That's all. That's the power hitters from the Monarchs. Done. Amazing attempt from them. Bowser Jr. taking off the mound, but
and
just...
it's not the last power hitter. You're forgetting about someone. Dark Bones up to the plate. Charging up, hitting it far. It's probably going to bounce off that back wall and land fair. That's a single. Now we're out of the power hitting section. Now we're in the Toad crew.
Okay.
Which is going to be a double play to end the inning.
End the game.
End the game.
Anyone else panicking a little bit after Bowser Jr. taking off the mound leads to no synergy in the outfield? Relax. The Monarchs aren't able to complete one of the most insane comebacks we've seen, and the rookies secure their spot alone in second place in the league, taking down the reigning powerhouse twice in a row to ice this series.
I'm gonna call a shot here, Willie. I don't think after the Monsters and the rookies meet, the Monsters are gonna be in #1 anymore.
Oh. Pressure's on that team.
I think this team has what it takes to take a definitive first place spot in the league. They have been crushing it since day two. Day 2. Had a few stumbling blocks here and there, but they went 1-1 with the Musicians for their first series. And that was the one loss was before their restructure. The Musicians went 1-1 with the Monsters. Anything can happen. These games get crazy. The Fireeggs were able to make a turnaround against this team. The Fireeggs are in 7th place. But I think this might be the actual strongest team in the league.
Well, they certainly are proving it after a dominating series against the Monarchs, and that will more than enable them to slip up to second place. In fact, we're going to go ahead and get you very quickly all of those statistics here after a quickly shuffle of our scoreboard. We'll show you the current, wait for it, yeah, we'll be ready with the current standings in just a moment, as the entire league is thrown into just a little bit of chaos after Playday number 6. Okay, our results, double checking my, yep, okay, that's incredibly funny. While we started off this season with very uneven teams and most of the league going negative, well, the opposite is standing true now as we bring up the standings for you at the end of Playday number 6. The Monsters will hold on to that first place after a loss to the Musicians in this series, But still, they will maintain their 5-1 record and are the only team to have lost only a single game. The Rookies, after a commanding series versus the Monarchs, will storm up to second after being, I think, in like 5th or 6th. Unfortunately, I don't have... Actually, wait, I do have that ready. At the start of this series, at the start of this Playday... Sorry. At the end of Playday 4, before this series started, the Rookies were in 5th place with a record of 2-2 and a run differential of -9. Those 2 wins back-to-back have catapulted them up to 2nd. The Monarchs, meanwhile, after being in a commanding 2nd place, being 3-1 with a run differential of 51, have almost 20 knocked off that. They'll fall to an even 3-3 record with a 35 run differential. Then we have the real middle-of-the-pack teams as it stands right now. The Mickey Musicians are able to score 1 off the Monsters and break their perfect record, but they're not able to slam the back-to-back. That'll leave them still at that 500 rating, with a better run differential than they enter the series with, plus 14 for them, plus 10 before that series happened. The Flowers and the Spitballs both started this series 1-3 record, and both won both games in their series to come back and hit that 500 point and get their run differentials all the way up to 1. But very impressive for both teams. The Flowers were at -20, the Spitballs were at -12, so excellent offenses from both their teams to not just get back that record, but get back that run differential. Then we have the bottom of the league as it stands right now, the Fireeggs, who were 2-4. Unfortunately, after the Spitballs rise, they were 2-2. Unfortunately, after the Spitballs rise, will fall down to 2-4. So, no unexpected story if you were paying attention there, but we'll see whether or not they're able to bring it back next week. The Bows remain the bottom of the league, 1-5 with a -57 run differential, but after not showing too much promise versus the Monarchs last series, falling to them 3-32 and then 7-14. Hey, they ended their series against the Flowers 7-5. So, if they can keep that up and start scoring some wins, they could easily get out of this last place position. We're not even halfway through the season yet, and there's still time for the Bows to bring this back. Very competitive bottom of the scoreboard here will lead to turbulence heading into Playday number 7 this Tuesday, which will mark the halfway point of this league. What are your thoughts heading into that?
I think we've already seen some crazy moves from teams in this league. I think they're about to get even more wild, as teams are starting to realize where exactly they fall in the standings after 6 of our, how many regular season games are we going to have, Willie?
14.
14. So, almost half of the regular season games, and you cannot do trades you cannot do trades in between series games. So once a series starts, the trade window is locked in. If once next week starts, the Musicians could not make a trade with the Fireeggs. They could still shuffle around their roster with the players they already have, but they can't make the trade.
It's also important to note, okay.
I'm repeating myself.
I'm going to have to rewrite a rule real quick to clarify something. But sorry, technically under the original writings of the rules, this would be the last trade possible deadline for people, and that is not true. So after Series 6 of our 7 series starts, not after Series 5 finishes, that's the trade deadline. The last 4 games of this league you will be locked into your roster. So teams will have this trade deadline before Series 4 starts, and then after Series 4 starts, after Series 4 they'll have one more trade opportunity before Series 5. Then after Series 5 ends, they'll have one more. So there's 3 more trade opportunities for these teams. I'm sorry. I had to work through that real quick.
I think we might see some big ones in the next few days. Big trades, big roster reshuffles. I think teams are going to be looking at where they are right now and trying to figure out exactly how to take that position and push themselves towards number 1. Especially for those 4 teams locked at 3-3. The Monarchs, the Musicians, the Flowers, the Spitballs, they have all... each of them has gone up against at least one of the Monsters or the Rookies. The Musicians have played both and gone 1-1 with both.
Well, we'll have to see what happens come Tuesday. The halfway point and the reckoning begins for many of these teams. Until then, signing off now for Grand Slam Galaxy, I'm your commissioner and commentator, Willie or Won't He? Here, as always, with my co-commentator, Silva Lily. Any closing words?
I had some, but they're gone. The Bowsers, both of them, are dominating the league right now. And it's up to everyone who is beneath them right now to figure out how to change that.
There was some analysis here. It's gone now. Thank you, everyone, for joining us at Grand Slam Galaxy. I'm sorry, I just wanted to throw in the Silent Hill reference. We will see you come Tuesday. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.